Chairman, Super Bowl. It is now Super Bowl. Supervisory Board. Thank you so much. Those who have picked maybe some observations and have comments to make, you hold on a bit. Then we listen to the external auditor, then we shall discuss both reports together. May I now invite Mr. Kibedi to present the summary of your report, external auditor's report.
Chair, thank you so much. I beg your indulgence. I will not be able to stand up because I'm not able to stand up. But I will present from here. And as introduced, I'm CPA Frederick Chibedi. Chair, I want to start probably as a leader in the accounting circles with your comment on CPAs who are unethical. It can't go without being commented on. Professional accountants across the globe are governed by a code of ethics: objectivity, independence, professional competence, and due care, and they are supposed to adhere by that code. And if they don't, they must be disciplined. The mistake that we make is we discipline them with our own internal processes. After you have found them guilty, send them to us. We shall make them employable for the rest of their life. That's the code that governs us. So if somebody stands up and says they are a professional accountant, they are governed both inside and outside the organization because we work in public interest and we cannot afford to lose that brand and credibility. That said, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to thank you for your invitation to this meeting, and I'd like to present my report. Members, the report in the annual book is on page 100. Pages 100 to 166 is the financial report that we audited. And like the chairman said, of course, being the author, I will not read the whole of it, but I would like to guide the members in understanding what it's about. From pages 100 to pages 1, that's the comment of those are the comments of the people who govern this circle in terms of what it is, what the numbers are. And already the treasurer, CPA Lieutenant Colonel Kato, already took us through the numbers. And my role here was to see whether what he's saying is consistent with what is written in the book. And if it hadn't been consistent, this would have been the opportunity to expose him. But it was very consistent. On pages 111, the financial statements, those financial statements continue up to 167. So you can go and read them and appreciate them and contextualize them. Our report is on page 107. And it's the independent auditor's report to the members of Wazalendo Sacco, Savings and Credit Society Limited, which we have put in brackets as the group. The group because you have made a choice to invest in an organization called Will, and that is still your money. So as auditors, we don't just simply report on what is here, we also report on what we're thinking is happening in that money and consolidate the picture for purposes of people appreciating the level of investment and return that they are getting. So our opinion is that we have audited the consolidated financial statements of Wazalendo Savings and Credit Cooperative Limited, which is set out on the pages that I've mentioned, and the consolidated statement of financial position, the statement of profit or loss, and the statement of changes in equity, and the consolidated statement of cash flows for the year ended 31st December 2023. And this is our opinion. Our opinion is that those financial statements give a true and fair view of the group's performance as at 31st December 2023, of its consolidated financial performance, the cash flows, and the cash flows in accordance with international financial reporting standards. We benchmark the performance against the requirements of the International Financial Reporting Standards and the Cooperative Societies Act as amended 2020. And so we have made that conclusion, but I'm required to take you through what caused us to make that conclusion. The next paragraph is about the basis for our opinion, based on the code that we follow, and then the key audit matters that we have raised during the period. Our biggest key audit matter was on expected credit losses on loans and trade receivables. The world of accounting has changed the way they look at loans now, and then the borrowings. When somebody takes a loan, you immediately expect they might not pay. So you start preparing yourself for the fact that if they don't pay, you have cushioned yourself enough. And that is the area where we spent most of the time. We also required, under those standards, to look at the reports that have been made by the different sections of the organization and determine if that information is consistent with the numbers that we audited and how we audited them. And I'm glad to report to the AGM that we have looked at those numbers. We have looked at the reports of the chairman, of the CEO, of Sacco, and of Wazalendo Investment, and have found nothing inconsistent with the numbers or our understanding of those numbers. The financial statements we are talking about are the responsibility of the directors, the board of directors, report to you. And our responsibility as auditors is to audit those numbers and evaluate them, evaluate the going concern of the business, and evaluate the presentations. And our objective is to obtain reasonable assurance that the financial statements are free from material misstatement, which we have done and already presented in our report. On page 110, we are also required by the Cooperative Societies Act as amended to report to you that based on our audit, we have obtained all the information and explanations which to the best of our knowledge were necessary for purposes of our audit. And as Chairman said, we have had interactions with both management, Sacco, and the board, and we have in ourselves spoken about the different nitty-gritty details that are in the operations of Wazalendo Sacco, and we have no doubt in our mind that our signature is worth this report for purposes of certifying to the members that this is the opinion that we have supported. So, in our opinion, proper books of account have been kept, and as far as it appears from our examination of those books, and the consolidated statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive incomes are in agreement with the books of account. We have also audited Wazalendo Investment and provided a separate opinion on Wazalendo Investment, and also provided a separate opinion on the Sacco. This is the consolidated position, but the Sacco has its own set, and the Wazalendo Investment also has its own set, and all of them are true and fair. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you very much, sir, for your report. The two reports have been clear and loud, and this is the time. I give it just 5 minutes. If there is anybody with any comment on the two reports, please raise those comments. Mukono, I see some 1, 2, 3. Is that Baruku?
Again, Honorable Corporal Balkujime, representing Kilwere Industry, Forte Marine Battalion, and Choga Dynamic. I heard our chairman Sukpo telling us that we should encourage our members to pass our salary via Wazalendo, which is a very good idea, also support it. But now the question is, don't you think we should first have a centralized security operation and command so that we can start processing our salary via Wazalendo? That is a question to him directly. Let him come out, clarify about that, and how standby is he if there is any hack between that? Because I'm seeing we have been getting challenges in handling dividends issues. Let him come out and clarify that. Thanks.
Okay, that one will be clarified by the CEO, because those were SUPCO's observations. But let the organ that is responsible for running the SAC on a day-to-day basis come and assure us whether they are capable of handling the salaries. Next.
I'm Kopolo Isabi Aroni Mwase, Battle Group 38, representing Base Camp. Annual report, page 92. Supervisory committee lays areas of focus where he focused, and there are many from A to D. But I feel like training should be part of what is supervised. The fact that it has a budget, I've not had it among the areas you supervised. I seek for more light. Finally, through your permission, Chairman, I'd like to report that Base Camp was not represented. Members in the mission area were not represented during the pre-AGM. And so when we come here for final deliberations, sometimes we are not reading the same page. So I request that next time, at least given the fragile environment of mission, perhaps we can call the delegates to come and attend pre-AGM, such that during the final stages, we read the same page. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Very, very good observation and request. We shall definitely involve you, include you in the pre-AGM training. Any other? Oh, CPC. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Really, it's just that CPC wants to register presence. So I am just grabbing an opportunity to comment on Super Bowl.
For now.
There is where he's raising the flag on UPDF deserters. I know the other financial institutions harass people who run away with their money, and we have the teeth. This is a circle belonging to people with teeth. Why should we be very soft with these people who run away with our money? I wish the chair, the supervisory committee gave a strong indication on how we can curb this vice. Otherwise, like General Moses said, we are happy. We are happy with everything which is going on.
Thank you. Maybe I could attempt to respond. Of course, for us, we receive and manage funds, but from mainly it is the UPDF matter to solve. To look at why, for example, the reasons that lead some of these guys deserting, and maybe try to solve them. Otherwise, for us, we have no machinery or capacity to go hunting for deserters. But as we all know, desertion is a serious offense. So we can, for now, leave it at that. We have guests here. We don't want to go into details of the institution. We can leave it at that. But certainly, in financial aspects, the measure, I don't know whether this thing is clear. Of course, the measure we put that does not solve desertion, but maybe replaces the money that has been taken, but which also affects other members who save and don't desert, is this LPF, loan protection, the internal insurance we put. Me, I borrow, I don't desert. You borrow, you don't desert. Someone else, but we pay. Me and you pay this insurance. But someone deserts and takes this insurance, me and you pay. So it's an issue that we need to discuss further and see how best we can handle it. Yeah. Anything else on this one? These were very clear reports. Yes, the finance man. Kano Mukanda.
Thanks a lot, Sir Chairman. My concern is on Wazalendo Sacco processing our salaries. All along, the requirement has been that Wazalendo Sacco is not a bank, and therefore we cannot process our salaries through Wazalendo Sacco. I don't know up to now whether that requirement has been resolved, that Wazalendo Sacco can now start processing our salaries. Secondly, it's also in the same vein. I was requesting that maybe we could start with a few formations and units that they pass through, they pass the salaries through Wazalendo Sacco, and we see whether the capability is there. Then that will give us assurance that Wazalendo Sacco has the capacity to handle our salaries. But all of us going en masse to pass our salaries through Wazalendo Sacco, I think it may not be feasible now. We want assurance that Wazalendo Sacco is able to handle our salaries.
Thank you. Thank you very much. One such assurance is that we already have members who are channeling their salaries through our SACCO. I don't know how many they are. See, we have 16,000 members of UPDF who are channeling their salaries through Wazalendo Sacco. And we shall endeavor to give you some of their addresses, and you ask them to tell you how safe their money is or how unsafe their money is. Number two, we cannot sit here and decide on who channels their money or which formation, because a salary is an individual, matter. So I should be the one to decide whether I should pass my salary through Wazalendo Sacco or KCB or Stanbic Bank or whichever area. So that one, that we mobilize, we tell you the benefits, the advantages, but the decision and the choice remains yours. We cannot, dictate on that one. CEO was supposed to respond on, was it Baruku's question? In the report by SUPCO, he was suggesting to have a centralized security, is it platform or mechanism to secure the funds. And now, but the same chairman was also trying to encourage members to channel their salaries through Wazalendo Sacco. So the honorable there asked, is it possible? Will people's money be secure before the centralized security controls are in place? So you can.
Chair, I don't want to pretend to be able to answer that question because I don't know the background from which the chairman of the supervisory committee came up with what he called a centralized information system. Maybe let's first understand from his point of view what he means by a centralized information system. Thereafter, then I will be able to respond.
Chairman, honorable delegates, from the supervisory committee's inspection of the ICT department, we found out that one of the requirements is to establish a centralized operations command center to ensure there is information and security systems for Wazalendo well kept. But they have not yet, like we have been postponing, they are postponing that one. Last time they had postponed ERP, but now they bought it this year. So we are telling them that you fast track the establishment of the centralized security operations command center to ensure that we finally are safe, and that is what is required by policy. Because for us, we evaluate policy and establishment. What is on the ground and what do you tell them to do? So that's it, CEO.
What I know is that we have our ICT system that are entirely run by Wazalendo Sacco. We have our security systems that are entirely run by Wazalendo Sacco. And to the best of our knowledge, these systems, as they stand, are adequate. We have also had a discussion with our external auditors to come and do a review of our information systems, so that after that assurance, then we shall be knowing what do we need to add. But I can assure members that we are keeping 959 billions in assets, and we every day we work to secure our systems. And I think somebody was telling me that we have, if you compare the systems that we have in terms of security, there are not many commercial banks in Uganda that have them. Perhaps there are only 3 or 4, 5. That is Stanbic, Stanchart, Centenary, and perhaps, anyway, ABSA and Postbank.
Okay.
What we have is adequate to safeguard us. But I think what SUPCO is saying is to try to get additional security measures that can enable us to be secure. But in terms of processing salary, we are set. There was a question from Kano Mukanda as to whether we are a bank to receive salaries. SACCOs that are institutional SACCOs in many areas are receiving their salaries. You simply need to call it a saving, and that is it.
Okay. I think this one is understood. Both can go concurrently. According to SUPCO, there is that plan of having that in place, the centralized information security. So he's asking for its implementation. But the CEO says, yes, it will be implemented, but even before, what we have is adequate to handle salaries. So I think that one is enough explanation. General Francis, you wanted to say something?
Thank you, Chair. Mine is just an idea based on what the CEO has said, that there are some financial institutions who have better security provision for the safety of the financial resources which those institutions hold. Is it possible for this AGM to request the Minister of Defense to provide some oversight security surveillance to ensure that the resources of Wazalendo are protected. Some like a silent role of the CMI, some silent role of assets of the government, which can once in a while, should your system fail as Wazalendo, or should somebody try to hack into your system, that oversight is always there in the background to see that nobody can hack into your system. I'm just selling a proposal if it is possible. I don't know if my ideas are clear. Because right now you are alone as Wazalendo. Should something happen to you, the government has got bigger assets which it can utilize to come into play to manage and secure this huge resource you have of your members.
Sir, Chair, through you, I would like to respond as follows. Number one, in terms of system continuity, we have a disaster recovery site. And it is hosted where somebody knows. And that person is nodding his head. He's nodding his head. So we have, and then in terms of security, we have first generation firewalls and other resources. Now, these systems that we have, the security systems that we have, we actually benchmarked Standard Chartered and some other banks to come up with this. So the idea of the minister coming to support us, we are going to do a benchmarking and see in what areas we need support, and then we shall communicate to the board and they make the necessary requests. It's a good proposal from the general.
Give General Kade.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Although I'm a complete stranger, because I haven't attended these meetings in a very long time. But there's something that caught my attention in the report of the SUBCO. Yeah, SUBCO, the Supervisory Committee. Yeah, he gave a very positive report, but on the loan, the part on the loans, giving out loans, it would appear that we are not doing very well, and that is very surprising, especially those of us members who are now entrepreneurs, and our biggest problem is affordable credit. We find that very, very strange, because we actually need credit, and yet it's you are saying that there is money, and yet we can't access it. That is one. Number two, I don't know, I'm not an expert, I think the experts know better, but by the very nature of capital, if capital is to survive and grow, it must reproduce itself. Now, to reproduce itself must be through giving out credit. I think so. Now, if we are not performing well on that account, I think it's something that the leadership need to reflect over and find means of how do you incentivize members to get. We need loans. I'm now speaking for veterans because we have all the time. We have all the time to produce wealth, and actually we are producing wealth. And our biggest constraint. Let me use this opportunity. I don't want to be controversial. I used to be controversial a long time ago, but I'm now saved. So, but however, this is affecting livelihoods and even the economy. The economy, the financial sector of the economy is really, really difficult. In fact, it's hostile to those of us. You talked about agro-processing. I don't know whether you're referring to supporting us who are in agro business, agro sector. Because most of the credit that is available, even where we put our own deposits, like Post Bank or housing finance, they give short-term credit. They don't give credit that is suitable for the type of for agricultural enterprise. And you know that this country, our center of gravity, is in agro area, agro industry. That's why under the NDP3, there's a whole program of agro-industrialization. That's really where we can talk about the future in this globalized world. So I was wondering, as really, me, I'm extremely proud that Wazalendo has really developed this capacity and has strong internal mechanisms and systems. I don't see why you don't really, this money you're talking about, give it to us. We shall pay it back. Just give us time. You know, like, look, I have a banana plantation. I got a loan from housing finance. By the way, Comrade Chair, I borrowed my own money from housing finance because I later on learned that our money is deposited in housing finance, and I borrowed it on market rate. I was really angry, but and then they were giving it to me that 6 months I start paying. Now you know very well that a banana plantation takes at least 2 years to start fruit getting matoke. For you to get it to the market, you need another year. Now you are telling me I must start paying back in 6 months. Is that realistic? Are you a friend or an enemy? Both to me and to the economy. So, as a vanguard force, UPDF has always been, is a vanguard force for sure. Really, why don't we now actually think about a focused, this money which is not being attractive to others, focus it to those of us in agro industry, the veterans who have the time. You assess us. We have the titles, you assess us. Right now I have a financing gap. I'm a candidate for this money which is just lying there, and I will multiply it for you through because capital, if it does not grow, if it does not reproduce itself, it will die. I think the experts know better. Thank you.
Thank you,
Comrade
sir.
Chair.
Thank you, General, for the observation. But what the chairman Supco reported was not the fault of the organization. When we are budgeting and planning, we make projections and assumptions. So during the operations, we may achieve some of them, we may not achieve some of them, depending on both internal factors and external factors. Now, for this matter, therefore, what we had projected was not achieved 100%. We achieved 94.6%. But the reason was people did not demand for loan, for us to give them loans and achieve the 100% we had projected. It is not that the people demanded for loans and we could not give them. I don't know whether I'm clear. So to answer your question, we have the money. And we are ready to give it to our members because that's our number one, the core business. Before we go to investment arm of organization, we fix billions of money because we cannot leave it there, idle, because people don't come to take it. So have enough money to lend to our people anytime they want it. However, we have have in mind, like we were talking of desertion, you are here, we have to look. You may not find very many carriers in this world who, again, will come, take money, use it, pay it back. So we have to safeguard the savers' money. We cannot just give whoever comes. No, we have to make sure that when we give you money, you will use it, invest it, and bring it back. Otherwise, this is our core business, lending. This 72 billion we made is from the money we lend to our members. So we have no problem. It is not force people to come and demand for loans. If they come, we give them. If they don't come, then we don't achieve the way we wanted to achieve. I think that is what he reported. It was not the other way around, that people came and we failed to give them money. No, people did not actually come as we expected.
Just one thing to add. But I want to speak from here. When you are projecting the loan portfolio, you make assumptions. And one of the key assumptions we had made when we are making this projection for the loan portfolio was that there was going to be a salary enhancement for lower cadres. And that salary enhancement would translate into increased demand for credit. Now, when the salary was not enhanced, it meant that this anticipated demand did not come. And therefore, that was a major reason for that. That's an external factor. That was a major reason for the shortfall in the projected portfolio. What we anticipated to give out did not come because the other element did not move. Now, in terms of agro-processing, the agro-processing we are dealing with is not the one of giving the one of will is not giving money to the people like Afande Kaiura who are engaged in agro. This one is for Wazalendo Sacco to handle its own agro-processing business. However, on a case-by-case basis, if members come, we shall look at what they have, we look at your cash flows, and then we shall be able to lend you loan. The greatest challenge that I've found outside in the field there through our audit and monitoring and evaluation is that most of our people have businesses, but they don't prepare books of accounts. Now, when we come to assess you, we are trying to look at the profitability, how the revenue generation from your point of view, we don't find it. And that's why you see some of our people come, apply for the loans.
Additionally, sir, when I took over the leadership of this circle, the maximum loan amount was 40 million. 40. Maximum. Why? Because our loans were based on our salaries. First of all, what is your status in the circle? How much do you have? We were multiplying it by, I think, 3 that time. It is your status times 3 equals to L, which is loan, or C, which is credit. So then that would determine how much you are going to get in form of a loan. But also what the salary you earn, because you have to repay this loan. And we don't want you to go on the street. We don't want the circle to take all your earnings by servicing the loan and you go without anything. So that's how we, but now, as we talk, from 40 billion to now, there is what we call cash loan. If you have the land title like you were saying, we can give you up to 500 million. If you are using salary, we can give you up to 300 million. So we have really, jumped. So we are here to serve our members. Yes, we have to conclude this. Yes. You should be the last person. We have to conclude.
Thank you very much.
We are running
Chair.
behind the schedule.
I'm Brigadier General Julius Viljavarema, the Chief of Pension and Gratuity, of which each one here is the potential customer. Chairman Subuko brought in the issue of retention, and people, when they are retiring, they withdraw everything, others leave the circle. To delegates here and to Wasako leadership, when you are going to the field, make sure you include us in your program so that we move together to explain to the soldiers when they retire. Because many of them, when they retire leave Wasako, you find someone wants a loan of 1 million from Kabare, it takes him almost a full month. Because, I mean, from these commercial banks, rotating around through the PS and whatever, 1 million, it takes a month, what will you gain? So my request is that let us not mobilize the retirees at the last hour, but let us mobilize our soldiers as we move to the field. Wazalendo, please always include us as the chieftaincy, so that we explain on what is happening. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now, to answer that, I think you don't need to wait for me when I'm going to the field. Where is the field and who is in the field? The server is in the field. These delegates are their representatives. They are there with them. They come. We made it, that's why I think you were here. I was talking. The success of Wazalendo Sacco is based on that command-led element. Every commanding officer is actually a delegate of his unit. Every commanding officer, delegate of Wazalendo Sacco in his unit. Every formation commander, I did say it when in my opening remarks. That's why we made you member of AGM. We take you to be delegates for your formations and units. PCs, we have even been facilitating them. PCs, all PCs are delegates of Wazalendo Sacco in the formations and units where they are. Therefore, if you have any program to talk about, as you talk about retirement and what, please include Sacco matters, and if you want, go through the leadership of formations and units. You don't need to wait for me, because the structures are very, 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 very clear. Yes, no problem at all. But it should be, my not going should not stop from you going and sensitizing the people who are about to retire, or all of us. I have to cross this point because we are really behind. Those are the things you should have asked when I invited you to attend pre-AGM. You cannot find the division commander's first division putting up his hand because he was there physically. And division, he was there physically, and other leaders I'm seeing here. You cannot find General Chandia here because he exhaustively discussed these things. So those of you who did not attend, I think we are not going to allow you to take us back. Katongori, what is your problem? Katongori is an advocate of Sacco. He was a former vice chairman.
Thank you, sir, very much, the chairman and protocol observed. The introduction I have given enough. Mine is a question addressed to the legal officer. of the board. The issue of security now is very important. We have overgrown, we have a lot of money, we have even extended into investment arms. And if I take you back in 2022, when you were briefed by the Deputy Governor of Bank of Uganda, Dr. Mike Eting, he emphasized more on the regulation and security of the members' money. Now I'm going to the point, which has been reflected by other members. The question is direct to the legal officer. Commercial banks and institutions, they are regulated by the central government through the central bank. That's why you have the protection deposit fund. In the event there is a problem in any institution, the essence is to protect member savings and deposits. Reflecting in line with the Financial Institutions Act of 2016, how have you advised the board in terms of that legislation, in terms of the Micro-Institutions and Money Lenders Act of 2016, and the ministerial regulation to that effect, and also the amendment of the Cooperative 112 as by 2020, so that this element of security is very important. Why we are emphasizing on security is that in the event a commercial bank had challenges, or it was hacked, then the central banker will come in. The central banker is regulating purposely to protect depositors' savings.
And that's why we are using
all over the country.
We are using Post Bank because it's 100% a government bank.
Yeah,
it's one of the security precautions.
Yeah, the Post Bank, sir, we have not had the legal action which shows that Wazalendo has translated into a bank. You see, the law does not allow it to work under shadow under another institution. Post Bank is registered by the government to regulate the depositors. But now we are giving Post Bank employment. We help it, as you said, to exist, to perform. But to our essence, as the Fund General of the one who heads the National Defense College has raised, we need that assurance, just like the governor have hinted on 2020, how we advised. So I want to end by asking the legal office, how have you advised the board? Do you think it is important that we transit into the bank or not? If not, how should we ensure? Because internal security cannot now manage. LPF can't manage. We have too much money. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kano Katongole. Yeah, what you're raising is actually an issue that is on the agenda, not only of Wazalendo Sacco, but also our apex body, Ukusku. Madam Chair Ukusku can testify. Now, the issue of Wazalendo being regulated by Bank of Uganda to protect savers' monies was raised and is captured under the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions and Money Lenders Act of 2016. Now, Section 110 provides that the Bank of Uganda must regulate all financial institutions that have voluntary savings of which are over or in excess of 1 billion. I want us to get this clearly. The Tier 4 under Section 110 says all voluntary savings of registered societies must be governed under or supervised, regulated by the Bank of Uganda. And secondly, if a registered society has institutional capacity of over 500 million, it also has to be governed by the Bank of Uganda. But we are saying, as Wasacco or other SACCOs that will be affected, why should we not be regulated by our mother regulators like UMRA? We have the Uganda Microfinancial Regulatory Authority. We have our Cooperative Societies Act, which actually registers us and regulates us. We are saying, why is Bank of Uganda coming in now? Because this is a savers' money. We are not a banking institution to be treated like a bank. As we are saving people's members' money, it's a welfare project. Are you getting my point? Eh? But Bank of Uganda is saying, no, as long as your institutional capacity is above this or your savings are above this, we need to regulate you. So we have that problem of multiple regulators who are on board. And I didn't want to indulge much in this because under Ukusku, we have lodged a case which is before the courts of law for them to interpret for us this section of the law to give a clear guidance on who our single regulator should be. Am I clear?
Thank you. Thank you. CEO.
Through the discussion with the Okusku, which is our apex body, we established a lobby and advocacy committee that reviewed the laws that are, because the sector apparently is regulated by two laws like the secretary has observed. So there are in those very laws, there are inconsistencies between the Cooperatives Act and the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions Act. And now arising from that, under the apex body Okusku, SACCOs went to court for interpretation and harmonization, first of all, of the law that governs the two areas, the Cooperatives Act and the Tier 4 Microfinance Institutions Act. And then the second issue is a single regulator. Because our thinking is that SACCOs are not commercial banks. And each year, these SACCOs, by the time Bank of Uganda wanted to regulate, came with the regulation, there were only 40 SACCOs that had hit the mark. Today, I want to assure you there must be more than 200 that have hit that mark. The question is, will the Bank of Uganda be able to supervise all of this? Nobody is against regulation in terms of the cooperative sector. We want regulation. But our argument as SACCOs, what we are fighting for is that we should be regulated under a single regulator. And court is yet to pronounce itself on that. As of now, we are fully complying with the Cooperative Societies Act under which we were registered.
Okay, thank you. I think this marks the end of the two reports. We move to the next item on the agenda. And this item is proposals. May I ask now the CEO to present quickly the proposals, because we are running out of time.
I don't need to go to the podium. Perhaps I can present them from here, if you allow me, sir. In this book, here, there are 10 proposals. But 2 of them were not very popular when we went to the pre-AGM. So in the interest of this AGM, I'm not going to discuss them. That is proposal number 9, perhaps. Page 26. Go to page 20. In the small book, this one, the last page. The last page in your small book. Run the slides. Go up. That's where we start from. Arising from the surplus of 2023 of 72.8 billion, the board proposes that we appropriate 40% of the total surplus after taking care of the statutory reserves. And under the statutory reserves, there are 3. One of them is a reserve fund. Number 2 is a revolving fund. And number 3 is education fund. We have fully provided for that, and therefore, proposal 1 is that we pay 40% of the dividends as shares to the members. This will translate to 1,977 shillings per share, and we shall pay this as follows. 50% of the dividend paid should go to the shares account, and the other 50 should go to the members' ordinary savings account for them to be able to access. Proposal number 1.
I think we should not take long time on this. We discussed them in details, exhausted them, and now I put a question. Those in favor of this proposal, say aye. The ayes have it. We proceed.
Proposal number 2. Proposal number 2. Proposal number 2 relates to the payment of share transfer fund. This one is mixed up. Go to the book. Ignore that one. Go to the book. Share transfer fund is a provision of the law. The law requires SACCOs to provide up to a maximum of 5% of the surplus computed as a percentage of the capital as a share transfer fund. It helps us to buy shares of members who are exiting the SACCO if they choose to exit completely. Now, last year, we had provided for 11 billion to buy shares, anticipating that there will be retirement from the general to the lowest rank. That one did not take place. Now, this year, we had a balance of 9.5 billion, and we require to put there 1.6 billion to help us to maintain a share transfer fund of 11 billion. And this is to cater for batch 13B and batch 14, which will go in July. The proposal is to provide for additional 1.6 billion so that we maintain a share transfer fund of 11 billion.
I put a question that those in favor of that proposal say aye, and those not in favor say nay. The ayes have it.
Now, as our surplus grows, we keep on paying a lot of money in dividends. But we also need to grow our capital in tandem with the growth of our surplus and the dividend payout ratio. But we have a lot of money in retirement savings. So we are making a proposal to the members that this year, the AGM allows us to move, allows members freely, voluntarily to move up to a maximum of 25% of their retirement savings to the share account. This will enhance their earnings in terms of dividends, but also create more stability, but also cut financing costs for us. 3 things in one. 25%, that is in error. 50 is in error. The right figure, which we discussed in pre-AGM, is 25.
Have you understood the proposal?
You go fill a form, a variation form. I'm moving 25% of my retirement into shares. If you don't feel, we shall not transfer it. It's voluntary.
Those in favor say aye, and those, the ayes.
Proposal number 4 relates to the maximum liability. The law requires us to come to the AGM to provide for the maximum that the SACCO can borrow. And we are coming to you that last year you authorized us to borrow up to 75 billion. We currently have a liability, borrowing by liability of 32.1 billion. So we want that gap to enable us, if there is a salary enhancement and demand sparks, we should be able to borrow money to cushion that gap. That is the proposal for that.
What is the proposal again?
To allow us to maintain the liability as of last year of 75 billion in terms of borrowing.
I put a question that those in favor say aye, and those, no, I repeat. Those in favor say aye. The ayes have it.
Now, proposal number 5 is in relation to education fund. The Cooperative Societies Act and the cooperative principle number 5 talks about member education, training, and information.
We are now expanding our training to the delegates. And this one comes with a lot of cash expenditure. The other one is that we adopted enterprise selection training for our members so that they are able to get knowledge on how to select enterprises. All of this will require us to train members, and this one now pushes us to provide for education fund. The law provides for 5% at maximum, and we are asking the AGM to allow us to provide at 1.5 so that we are able to train our members adequately, so that we have good delegates, we have good members. 1.5% of maximum is 5, 1.5. That's what the law provides, sir. No, sir. The law, sir, it would be good for us to call it capacity fund, but to do that, we shall require to amend the law to be calling it such.
It is
So this is
member
exactly-
education.
This is exactly
Law.
member education and training fund. It is not a bonus. It is for training. That one will come. Has come. It's just about to come.
I put a question that those in favor of that proposal say aye, and those.
Now the next proposal. I will take a microphone. And we are proposing that pay 1.5 of the dividend, a surplus that was earned last year as bonus and honoraria to members of the board, supervisory committee, management, PSOs, and elected delegates.
I remember when these people visited you in the pre-AGM meetings, they came up with 2%. But after we reviewed and consulted, and we saw 2% was really a bit high. So we maintained 1.5, the same percent we used last time. We think that should be really adequate for Thanksgiving or honoraria, whatever name you choose.
A percentage of the surplus.
Of the surplus. Yes. But this one is once in a year.
Once in a year.
So those, I put a question that those in favor of 1.5% as honoraria to those groups that have been mentioned say aye, and those not in favor say nay. Aye. Now the ayes take it. Now some delegates are saying nay because this is theirs.
Now, the next proposal relates to funding of will. We had the presentation MD here, and he outlined what they need to do in the year 2024, in the remaining 9 months of the year. So they have the desire to expand the real estate business, but also acquire the road unit to enable them to maintain our estates, but also opening other roads within the estates, but also doing business. This requirement requires 8.3 billion shillings. That one will be also appropriated from our surplus for last year.
We are building this business arm. We have the funds, but we seek for your permission to give it to them. So those, I put a question that those in favor say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Okay, the last proposal relates to amendment to section 17 of our bylaws that establishes our common bond. We had been getting challenges on how to deal with the people who do not have accounts, share accounts in Wazalendo Sacco, but are desirous to pass their money through a Sacco, and that's why we pay them. The first category among this is the LODPs, and then there are other people outside there, as the chairman that earlier on alluded to. So we want to amend section B, section 17 of our bylaws, section 17A of our bylaws,
to provide for a partial opening of the common bond that will allow us to admit those categories that I've mentioned. But the board will go ahead and draft the guidelines on how we shall deal with other people. But for now, the LODPs need to be covered. That's the first beneficiaries of this amendment of opening the common bond, because they can now be able to save without buying shares until such a time when they have got integrated into UPDF and they are able to buy shares. If we subject them to buy shares in the small money that they are earning, we shall not have played our welfare role when we are receiving them. Number 8. It is that one. Yes, Wasako controlling salaries was not agreed on the AGM, pre-AGM that we discussed. It is a discussion that we are throwing to you, not in form of a proposal, but an idea from the board. It's a discussion that we are throwing it to you, because it was not generally discussed at the regional meetings.
The proposal is for allowing
the partial opening of the common bond.
Management to open partial common bonds, and starting with, because currently as we stand now, Wazalendo Sacco is for only UPDF members and their families. But there is a limit to that, as you all know. And we have money in, you know. So we want to begin now looking at other monies apart from our salaries. So we want to start with our comrades. By law, these LODUs or LODPs are not members of, they are there on contract, you know. But now we want to start with them, and then as we roll out to capture other organized groups who are willing to join us and serve with us. So that is the meaning of this proposal. I therefore put a question that those in favor of this proposal say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have taken it.
So that's the end of the proposals that were presented to this AGM. The other proposal about veterans was also a discussion within the board, and it had not yet been presented to the pre-AGM, so we are not taking it also as a record that should be presented this AGM. It should be removed from the proposals. I beg to submit.
Thank you very much, CEO. And I want to thank you, members, for having approved all the proposals, so that you allow the leadership and management of the Sacco to use what they have proposed to steer your organization ahead. So now we are done with the main areas of this meeting, and we are remaining with 3 items, and then we close. Now the next item is awards. Every AGM we recognize special people for their performance, for their special love for the organization. So we consider a number of categories within the members. So even this time we have a list of them, and I want you to read them out. And I'll ask the guest of honor, Afande Peter, to please come forward and perform this role of handing over the awards.
We have 10
awardees.
We have 10 people for award in this AGM, and this one is the category of best saver, progressive share buyer, best saver who is a civilian, and then best saver who is a retiree. Then the other one is the best saver as a family member. And then also we have a best loan user in the Western. We have a best loan user in the Northern. We have a best loan user in Central, best loan user in West Nile, and best loan user in Central. So the first one is Brigadier General Robert Freeman Mugabe, who is the best saver in the Sacco. I don't know whether it's here. In a business account. Now, the business savings account is an account which you use to drive. I think he didn't come. He has a court session. Can we have somebody to receive it for him? Doppel Land Forces should come and receive it on his behalf. Please come. The next one is Ojok Francis, Private Ojok Francis, RA 24 26 66, who is a progressive buyer of shares. Where is he? Ojok. Okay? Is Private Ojok around? He's not there. We go to the third one. He's a civilian best saver. And that one is none other than Maxwell Okello. Is Maxwell Okello here? That one is not here. Maxwell Okello, civilian Maxwell Okello. Oh, he's present here. Best civilian saver. Number 2 is Private Ojok. Upon I request that we keep the present, we shall give him when he comes. Mr. Okello Maxwell, please come and receive your award. Mr. Okello Maxwell has been awarded 20 shares. We are going to give him a certificate and a t-shirt. A shirt. The next one is Kisembo Ahaz, warrant officer class 1, who is a best saver, who is a retiree. Warrant officer class 1, Kisembo Hassan, is there coming? We are going to give him an animal spray pump. Yes. And acaricides. Yes. Now, the next one is a civilian, Barije Tanya, who is the best saver at a family level. They are too much, but you carry them. And then also a container. In that case, they call that I Guguna toy. Now the next one is Barije Tanya. Kisembo Ahaz. He's the one who has gone. There is Barije Tanya, who is the best saver at the family level, a family member. He's not in. We keep that one also. She's a daughter to Brigadier Kano Bahoku Barije. She's a daughter to Kano Bahoku Barije. The next one is Major Stephen Mugisha, who is a best loan user in Western Uganda. Major Stephen Mugisha, are you there? He's coming. We are awarding him a 1,500 liter tank. Water tank. That one will be given to him. It is big, we can't bring it here. But we shall award him a certificate and also a shirt. The other one is from northern Uganda. We have Kopolo Achayo Florence. Kopolo Achayo Florence, are you there? Kopolo Achayo Florence? She's not in, we also keep hers. The next one is Private Amwine Ronald, who is the best loan user in Central. Private Amwine, are you there? Please come forward. We are also awarding him a 1,500 liter water tank and then a certificate and shirt. The next person is Staff Sergeant Angupare Kana. Angupare, Staff Sergeant Angupare Kana. Are you there? Yes, he's there coming. Now, this is the best loan user in West Nile. Double. And the last one, but not the least, is Sergeant Isa Abirie Charles, who is the best loan user in Eastern. Isa Abirie Charles, are you there? Karibu. So those are the 10 people whom we identified, and we evaluated them, and this one came top. The last award goes to the CEO for reading very well the awards, and that one will be given by the chairman. I'm just cracking a joke. The last award goes to the CEO for reading very well awards, and that one will be given by the chairman. The chairman also said that I give it to him when he gives it. So finally, that is it. Thank you so much, Afande Deputy CDF, who is now a special presidential advisor for performing this function.
Thank you very much. That one is done. Now we are going into a session of a few remarks by some individuals. But maybe before we go there, there has been some news on the social media. No, of course I don't take social media things. I don't know whether the defense spokesperson has got an official position and then he breaks the news.
Thank you, Chair. By virtue of my job as a Public Information Officer of the Defense Ministry, I'd like to inform the AGM of the promotion of Major General Sam Kavuma to the rank of Lieutenant General. And he's been appointed Force Commander Artemis. Congratulations, General Kavuma.
I thank you for that confirmation of the social media news. And I want to thank the AGM for the blessing. Let us now continue with our program. Brief remarks. And I want now to call upon our chairperson, the Apex. Sorry, let me invite the Airtel representative who made some sponsorship here to just say one or two remarks in, I think, trying to advertise themselves.
Our guest of honor, the chairman, and I will stand on the protocols so that we save time. My name is Japhet Arido. I'm the managing director for Airtel Money, Uganda. And I'm very, very humbled and privileged to be here today. One, when I woke up in the morning at around 5 to take my trip to Jinja, actually thought about it. And you know, when I came in and I heard the chairman speak, I could tell this was selected because ginger is the source of the Nile. And the Nile is the source of wealth and livelihood, not only for Uganda, but for the Africa. Without Nile, Egypt will be a desert. So I want to associate with this because it makes a lot of sense. Because one of the things he talked about is the security, and the security of economics. I picked it, and I understand why this was selected. Then, Wazalendo being 18 years, for me, I was actually thinking about it again. 18 years, where I come from is when you transition from childhood to adulthood. In that time, when you become an adult, you're allowed now to go and marry, and you go and find some suitors. And today, we as Airtel Money, we feel like we are very privileged because through this partnership, we feel that this relationship is not going to end here. It's actually a marriage that we want to assure the Wazalendo fraternity that we are going to make it happen. I obviously would like to say a few things because when I was listening to some of the challenges, you know, our soldiers are always either at the borders or even in countries where they provide protection, not only to Uganda, but to other countries. We have actually followed them as Airtel Money. And today, what I'm saying is through all the places where our soldiers today are serving, they can actually remit money to their families. They can be able to contribute regardless of where they are, whether they're in Somalia, in DRC, Congo. We have partners where they can be able to remit money through international money transfer, and that money will be secured in their wallet. I want also to say this. I was listening to the future of Wazalendo, and you are saying that you want to open up, and one of the reasons why you came out of the barracks to the outside is so that you can attract other players. Chairman, I want to say that in Airtel Money today, we have built 2,504 mini Airtel Money branches. Literally any place where there is a site, where there is a telecom tower, we have a Airtel Money branch. We can actually extend the services so that when soldiers are paid the salaries, they don't have to go and look for a branch. Actually, they can walk to the nearest Airtel Money branch and collect the money. This is some of the things that I want to mention at this point. And I know there is a lot that we can discuss. We have a tent there. I've instructed my team, if there is any soldier here who doesn't have an Airtel SIM card, by the time they leave, they should have an Airtel SIM card. If they have Airtel Money blocked because they could not remember the PIN, they will be reset. They will not be told to go to any shop. Outside there, we will be able to reset everything. But I want to give my commitment to the Wazalendo that this journey that has started, and I know your CEO, no one is called Friendy. Friendy is very friendly. When he came to my office and we said, we are in this together, this is just a beginning. And you see us in every step that you are going to walk. Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Airtel. So through Freddy, we shall, members will get you in case they want your services. Thank you very much. Now let me take this honor to invite you, Abodi, to come and greet the delegates. And you give us your wise counsel as an apex body.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson, and allow me also congratulate you upon the immediate achievement that you have attained to that level and the office that you are going to take. Our guest of honor, the chairperson and the board of the Wazalendo Sacco, the management, SUPBO, vetting committee, the delegates, protocol observed. I'm Bintu Jalia Aboli Lukumu, and I'm the chairperson of the Uganda Cooperative Savings and Credit Union. And allow me, Mr. Chairperson, congratulate all the delegates seated here for having attended this annual general meeting, which is in line with our laws of the country. Congratulations. The union, Ukusku's mandate is to organize and champion the development of the sector, the Sacco sector. And some of our roles have been enumerated by so many speakers here. One of the main roles of the union is to lobby and advocate for the sector. And in this regard, we managed to lobby for 10-year income tax exemption for the SACCOs, which you are enjoying. And I allow me, Chairperson, also congratulate you on behalf of the union for having lobbied for the tax exemption on dividends and savings for the SACCOs for the entire country. Thank you very much, Wazalendo. And it's on this background that Wazalendo sits on our lobby and advocacy committee of the union through the CEO of Wazalendo, and we have benefited a lot from this committee, especially on the technical note and financial support. And we shall continue relying on your support and other circles so that we can lobby for the good environment for the sector. Under the regulations, I want to add my voice to what the chairperson stated and the CEO and one of the members that for us as Sacco industry, we are yearning to see one regulator for the Sacco industry. And this will help us to be able to grow up to the other heights. Because if we have so many regulators and supervisors, then the sector is likely to crumble. Because the Sacco cannot grow if it's faced by so many demands from different regulators. And that's why you realize that other countries which have got one regulator, they have managed to grow the sector. So we shall continue after the court's ruling. We shall again engage you, the Sacco members, so that you may know what has come out of the court ruling and we get to move on. As the union, one of our other roles is to train the SACCOs, especially on the best practices. And through our academy, Uganda has been earmarked as one of the best countries which have started good innovations. We started the academy, the training academy, which focuses on apprenticeship training for the SACCOs. And ACOSCA, the African Sacco organization, came to understudy the Ugandan academy, and they started the African Academy. But ours, we are mainly focusing on unique needs of the SACCOs. And I want to thank Wazalendo, who have benefited and have managed to send members to come and undergo training on SACCO growth. And possibly, this is why Wazalendo has been growing every year in, year out. And allow me, Mr. Chairperson, thank Wazalendo, who is #1 in the country and #7 in Africa, for wonderful performance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Mujaria.
And
Thank you
I
so
want,
much. Honorable.
lastly, I want to appreciate and extend our sincere appreciation to UPDF and Ministry of Defense for allowing the uniformed men and women to start saving and also borrowing at a lower interest rate. And this has helped especially to grow the Sacco. And also other countries have come to benchmark from the Wazalendo. This, we should be able to guard this good example, especially when the continent comes in and yearns to learn from what Wazalendo has done. And with those remarks, Mr. Chairperson, thank you very much with all your board members, the CEO and management, SUPBO with your team, thank you very much. The vetting committee with your members, thank you very much for being such wonderful leaders and having the Sacco grow. Thank you very much. I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Jaria, for those educative and informative words. Thank you so much. Let me now take this opportunity to invite the Commissioner from Ministry of Trade, our mother ministry, to give us a few remarks.
Chair and the board members, our chief guest, and all protocol observed. I bring you regards from the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, and more particularly from my senior, Mr. Bob Barige, the Registrar of Cooperative Societies. I want to take the honor to appreciate our guest of honor and the chair of your board and all the members present, and as well congratulate those who bared the vision on day one that we should have this in place. General congratulations. I also want to congratulate you upon convening your general meeting, the 18th in number. Indeed, this is a sign of maturity as by our laws in Uganda. Congratulations upon that. Father, thank you so much for being very, very compliant with the cooperative laws and the business practices. Thank you so much. Chair and chief guest and members, I want to make just 2 or 3 remarks. One on regulation. There is no need for alarm. I appreciate that their contradiction is in the pieces of law. The lawyer for the Sacco has stated here, the process of harmonizing these 2 pieces of law is ongoing, spearheaded by the Law Reform Commission and the 2 government ministries responsible for the pieces of law. That's Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, and the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. I know at an opportune time we shall be engaging with the relevant stakeholders on the positions that will have come up from this engagement. So rest assured, the government is in charge. On tax exemption, I want to congratulate, first of all, Ukusku and the Uganda Cooperative Alliance, who negotiated the tax exemption. And I also want to congratulate Wazalendo for the tax exemptions that we have gotten now. But looking at the instrument, recognizing the exemption is this new one. It's like a bit silent on the period. I don't know whether it's an annex on the 10-year or it's a new exemption which is open. So I want to call upon Ukusku through its lobby and advocacy committee and the members that you should not be taken by surprise. You see, it's good to work in a clear environment. So please, Wazalendo, I don't know whether it's you who will pick it up again to say whether this is an open check, bearing in mind that the tax law is annually amended, and we are yet to witness another amendment very soon as the budget will be read. So I call upon you to take note of that. I also bring you news that as you have been discussing your system here, in the registry we have been managing business manually, but on 14th of this month, we launched the Cooperative Registry Management Information System that will be managing our transactions between the cooperatives and other stakeholders online. It's a very secure system. We are starting its implementation by mid of next month. You should be able to get served online. Honorable Chair and members, like you've passed a resolution to amend your bylaws, you may not need to walk to our office to have this one registered. Before I conclude, I want to recognize my colleague, Mr. Chibalama Tony, whom I've come with for this meeting. I want to recognize also the cooperators around. Fando Muding, nice seeing you. This is under the spirit of cooperation among the cooperators. I've not been able, yes, we have also CIC staff circle here and the staff insurance and the insurance. We have the insurance and also the staff circle, yes. So thank you so much. As cooperators, we cooperate like this, and this is a sign of cooperation among cooperatives. Let's continue working together. I know the sky is the limit. It's not news anymore now that the government has adopted the cooperative model to see this economy from where we are to the next level. You have all heard about the Myoga. You've all heard about the PDM. PDM is a broad program, but to most, PDM is about Sacco. Wherever you hear people talking about PDM, they are talking PDM Saccos. So let's embrace cooperatives and continue working cooperatives. I want to wish you the best of the financial year 2024. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. On behalf of the Registrar and the Ministry at large, let me now take this rare honor and privilege to invite our elder, the founder, the mobilizer, and the first chairman, General Kare Keihura, to come and greet the people you left behind, or the people you started off. General, sir.
Comrade Chair, now Lieutenant General Sam Kavuma, and your outstanding team, our distinguished partners and friends, my fellow members. I'm still a member of Wazalendo Sacco, by the way, and very active at that. First, let me congratulate you for this outstanding organization, really world class, I must say, and also the strides you have made. I don't know which AGM I last attended. I know that the most memorable was Comrade Chair, what you mentioned, the Guru meeting, which was a watershed. Because had we failed, I think we wouldn't be here. And I remember, I think you should have invited Omara. Because Omara, you know, we had a debate and Omara was on the other side. Because the issue was, do we continue with the salary earners scheme or Sacco? And Omara was very, very teachable. Omara was operations officer of Stanbic. Oh, really? So the man was very articulate. So in the morning, he won the debate. And actually, you remember you heard him, you know, he was the hero. Now in between, somebody whispered to, when we had gone for lunch, you remember, somebody whispered to me that in fact, in Stanbic, the employees of Stanbic do not take salary earners, the lower cadre. They actually have a Sacco. So when we got that intelligence, I whispered to General Ronda, I said, you know what? We are going to beat this guy. I have got this intelligence, so I think we shall defeat him. So in the afternoon, when the staff and command reconvened, I put my case. I said, this man is being dishonest. He's a beneficiary of Sacco. Why does it, if salary earners scheme is so good, why doesn't he go for it? Why is he pushing it to us? And that settled the matter. As usually, we won the day. So I wanted, actually you should have invited him today, because today is now the day when I should celebrate the defeat of Omara. Now, to put but he was doing his job, because afterwards when we met, he said, you know, I was doing my job, but you were right. Now, I just wanted to, Mr. Chair, I know there's no little time, our guest of honor, just to give a bit of correction. Actually, this struggle to use the cooperative strategy to address the welfare of soldiers started way back in 1988. if you remember. The issue, I remember the time, and of course how I got involved was because I was in the political department. And I was assigned this job because the nanny of welfare was under CPC at that time. I don't know whether it still is. And at that time in the political education we had two subjects, welfare at work and welfare at home, or family welfare. And of course the biggest challenge, because of the lack of resources, was welfare at home, the family welfare. Of course, before that, we had no problem because we didn't have families. We didn't have pressures. Whether in the bush or the first years in the government, where we're not even earning any salary. We're just, we only got ration cash allowance. You didn't have any pressures. But gradually, pressures came. And we remember when pressures became too much, and some of us could not withstand them, and were using other means. You remember the book that the president wrote, The Value of Political Education. He was addressing this. It's not that we were bad. I mean, just that the pressures were too much, relatives, who, and so some who had started getting married. So the issue of welfare at home came up. Because at work there was no problem. You had your uniform, you had your ration cash allowance, and when salaries came, it was okay. But now the issue was, how do we solve the question of family welfare? Then the then Army Commander, General Muntu, sent me and General Kayanja now. Canon, I made a mistake. It was not General Kayanja now, the one who is a big man. It was the other one. But in the book I saw you referred, I think they misrepresented. So Eric Kayanja. So we were supported by International Cooperative Alliance in Moshi to do a study in the armies in Southern Africa, Zambia, Malawi, I think even South Africa, to see how they have used the cooperative strategy to solve family welfare. We came, we gave a report, and actually we were going to start. Then IMF came in with the structural adjustment program, the neoliberalism. That's when they started disbanding, saying government must get out of people's lives. That's the concept of neoliberalism. So cooperatives were either disbanded, those which survived, like Usoga, rather Bugishu cooperative, it was by chance. So that was the end of cooperatives, talk of cooperatives in the army, until recently when, in 2005, when again that concept was proved to be wrong for the global economy. I think it was after Margaret Thatcher and Reagan, who were the proponents of that, had gone out of the way. So then that's when this came up, and I'm really, really, really proud that to borrow the president's the seed, the mustard seed that we sowed, you have managed to nurture it over time, develop it, and such a giant, and an example both of self-reliance, and I'm in line with your theme, foundation of self-reliance for ourselves in the military, but also an example to the country that we can actually solve our own problems without depending on anybody else. So congratulations, and really I'm happy that you remembered me, that I still exist. I think we are not very many who are still alive of that time, and to see that you remembered me and honored me, I'm most delighted, most grateful. I feel a sense of homecoming, just like when I was invited for Tarehe Sita. I have been a beneficiary of Wazalendo Sacco at a personal level, even when I was in the police. I tried to introduce it in the police, but I was fought. I found some amorphous thing called, you remember Omoding, something called Passad. Yeah, Passad. So And the beneficiaries were those top people, the directors, not the, am I wrong, Modi? Not the nani, not the lower ranks. And my concern was the lower ranks. It had no regulations. It was just managed by a few people. I don't want to name their names. And they really made it difficult for Exodus Sacco to take off. Because it was obvious that was the answer. But anyway, so I could not go to Exodus Sacco because it was limping. I kept on at home with my Wazalendo Sacco. When my daughter was going to start abroad, we collected our savings, remember, I don't know who was there then, helped us and we managed to solve that problem. And more recently, I think it was when I saw Onata come to Kashagam, I thought I was seeing an angel because people used to fear to come to see me. He came with his team and then solved a big problem. Actually, I had brought, I'm making the best yogurt actually, if not Africa in the world. So and I would want, actually I wanted to bring my vehicle kind of let me down. I wanted to bring and give you as a way of mobilizing you, promotion. You know, in business language, that's promotion. So that you can buy it for your health and also for the children. Oh, sorry, I'm now becoming a salesman. Sorry. No, but seriously, and I remember when we were retiring, the president said, don't go into schools, don't go into hotels, go into food production. Of course, for me, he was preaching to the choir. And he said, but why can't the Minister of Defense buy your things? So please, Minister of Defense, if you are here, buy my yogurt. It's good for you. I think I heard that. I think it was the chief of the investment arm saying that when they go there, they don't find nyumba for the nyumba loan. But for me, recently the loan you gave, by the way, I'm the first beneficiary of that innovation, and I want to thank you very much. Yes, it has helped me. I got a processing unit from Yuri, but it was not working. It was just, I was not able to use it until I got gap financing. I'm ready to account. You talked about books. I'm ready to account for every penny that you gave me. As a consequence, today I can proudly say I'm producing yogurt. And some people may look down at yogurt, that when I say yogurt, hey, that thing. There is a lot of money, and I want to encourage you to go into food production. If only, when I heard that there is money, I want to process banana flour, to make banana flour. And so can you give me, I just need 600 million to buy a machine. Why don't you give me that money which is lying there? And I make money for you. So really, and in fact, when I'm going back to that point as I end, this point I mentioned about our money being in the commercial banks. It's okay. It's okay to fix it. But you see, you are our voice. If I go to negotiate terms, and you go to negotiate terms, it's different. In fact, when I talked to them, I argued with them. I said, but I'm borrowing my own money on market terms. Yet I'm supposed to be insulated. Because you see, the history of cooperatives, you know it. It was actually to liberate the workers, the smaller people, from the banks. Now we are going to the banks. So if we could consider, because I asked them, they said if Wazalendo leadership can approach them, those of us who bank in these banks where their money is, like housing finance and post bank, they are ready to give us special terms. They are ready. And I had mentioned it to Kano Onata. If you negotiate for us, actually, because you are our voice. I remember when I was chairman, we tried to do it with housing finance so that our members can acquire homes. I had gone there. That time there was a man called Kabonero. When I went there alone, I wanted to get a mortgage. He said, you, Kare, where will you get the money? Because he said, you have to put in 30%, and they will give you 70%. Now, years later, then I will invite him. The General Ronda invited him. I was there. And he said, we want to get mortgages for our soldiers. We have our savings. Can you give us good terms? He says, yes. Because he smelt the money, you know, that all the savings. Then he said, yeah. Then he said, what about the 30%? He said, forget about the 30%. So, really, you are very powerful. You can negotiate for us. You can lobby for us. Even you can take up, sorry? Where is he? You are listening. Because these banks are hostile. They are hostile to agriculture. Am I wrong? Even the agricultural credit facility, I don't know whether there is somebody from Bank of Uganda. Agricultural credit facility is not meant for producers. It's meant for produce buyers. Because it's short term. 6 months, 12 months. How do you expect a producer? Really, honestly, Chair. That in 6 months, you have produced a product, put it on the market, you know what is involved. Really, you are here. Really. And God is there. Honestly, the bank and yet the strength of the country is on agriculture. So I'm inviting the leadership of our circle to really take the bull by the horns. We should be the vanguard. And transform. Even UDP, you're talking about UDP. UDP is Kiwani. Sorry. Yeah. I applied in 2016. Up to now, I have fulfilled all their conditions. I have even paid the 1%, half of it. They have refused to give me a loan. And then they don't even give you a reason. Really. My law is rusty. You are the lawyer. Surely. I have satisfied all the conditions, and you don't give me a loan. What course of action should I take? Honestly, no, there is. I remember when I was in the commissariat, there was a lesson. Who is the enemy, and who is the friend? Really, who is the enemy of the economy of Uganda? I don't want to create problems. I have enough problems as it is. But I want to thank you. You can see I'm very happy because I am where I should be. I'm home. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Afande, for those. You are speaking as an elder, you are speaking as the owner of this animal called Wazalendo Sacco. And I hope you have even educated these banks. They should know their role and how desperate their customers, some of their customers are. So I think it is heresy. I don't think they will take it personal because all of us go through those challenges. So we thank you so much, first of all, for accepting to come, honoring our invitation, but also these wise, remarks. Now, before I invite the guest of honor to officially close the function. Now we need to get it properly here. The guest of honor is going to close the function, but the chair must close the meeting, must adjourn. That is what the law demands. The chairman of any meeting must open, but also adjourn. So before I invite Afande Peter to officially close the function, I want to adjourn the meeting. And before I do so, I want to thank all of you for coming, for attending this important meeting, but also for your contributions. I want to recognize once again and thank those sister circles who are here, Exodus Sacco, led by Mr. Moding. Then we have the chairman, the CEO of the Prison Sacco, SP Alex Kennedy Opin. We have CEO of CIC Insurance Sacco, insurance or whatever, Tom Omit, and maybe others who may be here and I have not gotten their names. I want to thank you for honoring our invitation and coming and attending. I want to thank our partners, the banks. Don't take these remarks we are making, like we hate you. We don't hate you because we've been really working with you, like Centenary, like even Centenary, you gave us some sponsorship. We want to thank our own Post Bank, Housing Finance Bank, Airtel, and all of you, our partners. And I want to again thank the management, the external auditors, the board, and everyone for making this day a success. I'm told there is Simba Automotives, Spouts, Water, that they also supported us. So I want to thank everyone who made this gathering or sitting or AGM a success. And I don't want to take a lot of your time. We have had a long day. I want us to break us and go for lunch. So I want to thank you once again, and now officially adjourn this meeting up to next meeting. With these few remarks, I want now to take the honor to invite the chief guest, General Peter Ereru, to greet you, but also officially now close the function. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair. Our elder, General Retired Kale, thank you for being with us here. Chair, with all your team and protocol observed. General Badi asked me to come and represent him here because he's in the parliament going through the vetting by the appointments committee. So he said he could not be able to come here. So he asked me to come here. But I'd refused to come because I told him that, I'm no longer your deputy. I am a senior presidential advisor. And I cannot be deployed by a minister. I can only be deployed by the president only. He is my appointing authority and he is my supervisor. So I said, no, you see, this is it. Those things are done now. We are at different levels. You see this? So, but I said, since we worked well, when you were my CDF, we worked very well. Let me help you and go there. But also, I am a member of Wazalendo. So it is good for me to go and check on my colleagues and see how they are. So that is why I had to come. But I surely am now there. I am with the former Vice President, Balbaseka. That is our club now. That is our club. No longer here. No longer here. You see this? So I had somebody calling me here, Deputy CDF, my friend. You can easily go to, I am no longer deputy CDF. Please, that one, I can easily take you to prison because that is demoting me. Otherwise, I want to thank you all for coming for this great meeting. And first of all, congratulate my comrade Kavuma for being promoted, elevated at the rank of Lieutenant General. Welcome to the club of Lieutenant Generals. There are very few in the country. Very, very few. So welcome to that club. And the rest, please work very hard to come here. It is not easy. It's not easy. And I wish you all the best with Al-Shabaab. You go there. Al-Shabaab, I wish you all the best. And I know we shall always succeed. Wish you all the best and all success. So greetings from General Badi. And he thanks you all for everything that you have been doing out there and on Wazalendo. He's very happy, and he will give his speech very soon as he hands over the office of CDF. Otherwise, he said, I pass his greetings and gratitude to you for the work you always do. Wazalendo has grown. I was part of it, which as our elder here, when he was presenting, I was there as part of it, and it was very difficult to mobilize people because people had lost trust in the leadership of the army by that time. There was completely people, the soldiers and the junior ranks had lost trust in the leadership. Why? Because they were all the time stealing their food, the salaries, what, and so forth. So no soldier trusted the leadership by that time. But I want to thank the late General Haronda, may his soul rest in eternal peace, because he brought in a new perspective, a new attitude towards leadership in the UPDF. It is because of him that everybody said yes. Now I think we have a new leadership, we have a new cadreship, and which has gone to the original values of NRA. And soldiers accepted the officers. Now, here we are. Here we are. We are great. We are great what? Sacco in the whole country, or not the whole Africa, because of General Aronda's leadership. We believed in it, and here we are now. And now, we who have remained, those who are remaining, the leadership of this Sacco and in the leadership of UPDF, run away from that syndrome of arrivism. Now we have arrived, so we can do everything the way we want, because we have really made a lot. So now you think, we have arrived. We can, it's all well. This is the time you must work very hard, because this is the time when the devil comes in, and they can easily disorganize us. So now you don't need to sleep, Kanulato, and your team and the SUPCO, all these teams chair. Please, this is the time you don't need to sleep, because this is the time some elements may be cropping in to try to take advantage of our celebrations. That arrivism is a problem. That most of the empires have collapsed because of that syndrome. We are now there. We are now there. We can afford to drink, go to the bar, and have everything because we are there. By the time they wake up, the King David in the Bible, kings those days go to war with their armies. But when he got captured, and now he said, yes, now I am a king, because I have arrived. So he started enjoying himself. The army goes to war. For him, he was enjoying himself in the balcony. Then he saw somebody's wife bathing. A very beautiful lady. Then he said, whose lady is that one? Go and go call her. Oh, Nani, who are you? Barsheba. Who are you? I'm Barsheba, the wife to Uriah, one of your commanders. I said, okay, no problem. So, yeah, I am the king of Uriah. So, what do you eat? What do you you check on you look at my bed, At the end of the day, he had an affair with her, and unfortunately, she got what? Pregnant. So the woman came back and said, you know, I'm pregnant. Now the king knew he had problems with his commander. So what he did was to go and call the commander that now you come back home. He has some issues. What he wanted was Horea to sleep with his wife so that he claims that he's the one who made her pregnant. When Horea came, he said, now you please, you go and have time with your wife. But Horea said, no, I cannot go to sleep with my wife when my colleagues are in the battle, at war. So he slept at the gate of the king. So the king said, did he sleep with thee? He said, no, he did. He slept here. Hey. So he decided, now, let me bring him, give him what to drink and everything. Maybe we'll get appetite and go there. Still, Horea did not go home. He slept there again. So the king said, now this man, he wrote him a letter. Take this to the army commander, Joab, and give it to him. Don't open it. So the letter was to tell the army commander, take that man, put him in this situation, and make sure that he dies there. And that is exactly what happened. Horea died in the battle, planned by the king, who thought he had arrived, and he ended up in his commander's what? Wife. And he took the wife. And what happens? Now heaven spoke through Nathan, the prophet, came to the king with a very good prophet. I said, you see, your majesty, there are two men. One is a very rich man. He has everything. And then there is this one. He has only one bull, one cow. Now a visitor came. This rich man, instead of getting a cow, a bull from his kraal, he got from the man. He got from the poor man, slaughtered it, and gave it to the visitors. The king was very furious. He said, who is that? Who is that? That rich man who did that? I want him now. The prophet said, that rich man is you. It is he? It's you. Who told you to kill somebody's wife when you have all these women? God said, even if you wanted other women, you would have asked him. He would have given you. So for that reason, you will face the same consequences. That is how the son of David overran his father, Absalom. And what did he do? He slept with the concubines of his father in the presence of everybody to show people that I have chased him. Arrive with him. David had to run away. He left his kingdom because he thought it was done. And then he saw something. We have to be very careful when we reach some of these positions. When we get okay, everything is okay. Now we have this, we have this. You think, we are now there. We are not there. You are only there when you have gone back to the grave. That is the only time I have arrived. When you are in the grave, say, my father, it is done. I have done everything. I have now arrived. Before that, you have not arrived. Please, leadership of Wazalendo, you have not arrived. Wazalendo members, we have not yet arrived. Let us continue. Let us work hard and make sure our members are happy. They should not doubt us, because it was not easy for these elders to convince us. I know of a general who was never became a member for Wazalendo until he died. He never. I know. He said, no, I cannot. He never trusted up to today. Now, I don't know what is he saying there. I don't know. But we leave that one to the Creator. You see this. So don't let us down. These elders did their part, and they're watching us. A number of them are still there. A number of them left. But they're all watching us, what we are doing. So do not betray us. Anybody who will try to betray Wazalendo will be hanged. I assure you. You will be hanged. You will be hanged. So please do it better. Otherwise, thank you very much for all this, and thank all the members. Please use this money. Use Wazalendo. I don't like loans. I fear loans. Me as a Luelu. But recently I took a loan. I don't know even how to apply for a loan. So I had to call the CEO. I want some loan. So he had to send a major. I don't know. He sent a major to my office to help me. This is how they feel, and they see, and then you sign here, you sign here. So that is but it's also the beauty of being a general. You don't run around. People come and they work for you. The only call I had to wait from CEO, and it didn't take 2 days, 3. He said, sir, check your account. All is well. That was all. So that is, I took it, and by the way, I've not used it. Why? Because I don't have the time to use it. Why I took it? Because I wanted it because I am now in the parliament. In the parliament, there is some good money. Are you hearing? There is some good money. So I said, in these 5 years, let me grab something good from Wazalendo, because I have the capacity to do what? To pay. I have because there is some eating there. A good one. So that's why I took it. Are you getting me? But this is our secret here. That is it. So that's why I said, let me have it. And General Sam here knows. There is something. It is not bad. There is something. There's something which we have never touched. But I had never touched it from the time I joined the army. I have never touched the money these days. I touch in what? In a parliament. I had never touched in my life. At once, like, no. And today I said, oh, I see. I said, hey, yeah, he's not a bad. Okay. So people, thank you very much. And for me, I wish you all the best. I have been in this uniform. I've been in this uniform with you for over 38 years. Running from private. I was a private. And I don't know how many privates are here. Don't say I've never been a private. I've been a very good private. And my first work as a private was an escort of Lieutenant Kitio. My OC. I was an escort. And the work of the escort, number 1, is to cook for the officer. So I cooked for Kitio. Number 2, boil warm water. You know, officers don't bathe with cold water. Get the warm water for my commander. Number 3, wash his clothes and prepare his bed. I did that. And when it is in battle, you have to carry his gun and his what? And it's like then you carry yours, and you are then for him he walks with what? For you like this. For him, that is what is. So that is what I did as a private. So I have moved from the rank of private up to, after all these 38 years, up to this where I am today. Now to a senior presidential advisor. Can you imagine? It's not easy. It's not easy. And it is not by, what are you saying? What is the what? Kitio, I think he died. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I think he died. He was JO2 Kitio. And I think he died. I think the other colonel knows him. He died. Well, I think one day I will visit your home, because that is where I started. But we disagreed with him on some issues. But those are our issues. But that was my first job, to do this. Another thing I need to talk to you people, commanders who are here, officers, the issue of desertion. The director is here, records. We lose a number of soldiers on a monthly basis, which is very worrying. I don't want to mention the figures here because there are some people of Rugambo here. It's people of Rugambo. You don't. You need to wake up and really look into these things. There's a problem. Why desertion? They're deserting with our money. Deserting. And first of all, there is no war in Uganda. Where would you think people would be doing what? Running away because of the whole country is peaceful, including Karamoja. It's peaceful. You can drive at night and everything. But why should people be soldiers be deserting? No, this is something you must look into. And I think it is all about whether you listen to them. Do you listen to these people's problems? When they want a pass, they have problems at home. When they're in operation, do you look at them? Do you understand them? It's something you need to really go back and think about it and try to do whatever you can do to stop. Talk to these soldiers and find out what is their problem. So when we hear of desertion with our loans, it's not very good for us. But I know you will do it. You will do better. Otherwise, you have done very well. And I thank you all that we have been working together. And without you, I wouldn't be where I am today. And it's because of your sacrifices that some of us are what we are today. And mine is always to pray for you. I have one other mission for you people. I have finished with the gun. Now I am remaining with the mouths, praying for you. I always pray for this army, including the president. That's why I normally call him home, to my home. He comes, he knows my house, he knows my sitting room. Not because he's my president, but because I am commanded to pray for him. So now I have time. As a senior presidential advisor, I have time to do what? To really pray for this country and to this army. Okay? That one I have to do it.
And Afande, I'm requesting you to give us a closing prayer now.
That one, I will do it, no problem. Okay. No problem. So, this is it. This is it. This is it. So, please, let us remember that at the end of the day, we shall live. And when you live, you must leave friends behind. And you should live when people are happy with you. You should live with the indigeneity when they are. Don't live in problems. Okay? Very, very important. Let's remain focused on our values that our elders put into us. Remember those. Forget about running after money. This is what of this world. People are running here and there. This man made a quotation that wealth should not command us. Who is this man here? That we should not be commanded by wealth. Not so? But you should command what? What is the problem we are hearing around us is because money is the one driving us. You run here, get here. I am here. Can't you get me here? And then you find yourself in trouble. You don't need to run around. You don't need to be commanded by money, by wealth. You need to command wealth and command money. Okay? With those few remarks, I take this singular honor to officially close the 18th Annual General Meeting of Wazalendo Sacco. I thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Now, the chairperson here said I should give a final prayer. The final prayer, I will give it in a hymn, and that hymn is of Ateso. And everybody must sing it. If you cannot sing it, you will be in trouble. Okay? Okay, stand up. I am going to lead the singing. In Ateso. Are we ready? Ruhanga shitwe, ruhango mwanam, ruhango moyo, ori kweram, ruhanga shitwe, ruhango mwanam, ruhango moyo, ori kwera, erizoba twakushabam, omoyo rikweram, shumoije twebembere, nitumanyangu turi abana bawe, aimukama otwebembere, erizoba twakushaba, omoyo rikwera, sumoije otwebebere nitumanya turi abana bawe hai mukama otwebebere iryata ryawe hai mukama twari urira etwetweta iryaka ryawe hai mukama niaipetu etwetweta horizoba kusaba
Omoyo rikwera suma uise otwebembere nitumanya nguturi abana bawe ai mukama otwebembere
horizoba
twakusaba omoyo rikwera suma uise otwebembere
nitumanya turi abana bawe ai mukama otwebebere 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 ai mukama otwebebere 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 ai mukama otwebebere herizoba
twakusaba omoyo
rikwera sumoije otwebebere nitumanya turi abana bawe hai mukama otwebebere herizoba twakusaba omoyo rikwera sumoije otwebebere nitumanya turi abana bawe hai mukama otwebebere. Now let us pray. There is one prayer that does not differentiate who is who, because after all we are one in the kingdom of heaven. There is no religion in the kingdom of heaven. We are all one. We are created all in His image. And the religion came to divide us. This one is this, this. No. We are all His children. There is no Islam in heaven. There is no Catholicism in heaven. It is not there. Then what religion is God? Man. Okay, we have to pray this prayer. We call it the Lord's Prayer. All of us know it. And we say, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. For thy is the kingdom, the power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen. May the grace of our Savior Yeshua, and the love of our Father in heaven, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all and all of us forever and ever.